Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Danielle Daily Show. I am your host, Danielle Watson. Thank you for joining me here live today. You know, last week we went over and over and over this idea of letting go, and we looked at it from so many different angles. And if you missed it last week, if you were busy and just had other things to do, I know some of our regulars had other things that came up in their life and they weren't able to watch live. And I missed you guys, like Lacey and Elena. I missed you guys. And I wanted to just let you know that if you missed last week's shows, you definitely want to go over to the YouTube channel and watch them. They were all on the theme of letting go, and we looked at it from so many different angles. I feel like that was just such a useful series to do. I think I'm actually going to take all of those videos and put them together into their own playlist, and I will get to that eventually. But until then, you can go to the YouTube channel where I keep all the past episodes of the Danielle Daily Show and watch them whenever you like. After the broadcast is over, I will leave the link for that in the comments and also in the show notes so you can find it really easy. Elena says, hello, we are back. Yay, I'm so glad. I missed you girls. I missed you so much. Elena says, our schedule changed a little bit and missed out. Oh, well, I'm sorry you couldn't be here last week. We did a really great series on letting go that I know you will love because we looked at it from so many directions. And I missed you girls. I missed all your good energy coming through and all the hearts and the thumbs up. So thank you for coming back. Today we are going to talk a little bit about something that took me completely by surprise last week. And I have today's note to self, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit of the kind of things that go on in my head when I'm taken by surprise. So this will be a little look into the behind the scenes of what goes on in Danielle's head before she has had time to process things and kind of figure out how she wants to think and feel about them. So last week, I received an invitation to be part of someone else's show, and I'll be letting you guys know about that later in the week if it's public. It might actually be a private show for her private Facebook group, but if it's a public show, I'll let you know. There are going to be two of us. We're going to be doing a live stream together. I'm very excited about it. And this woman, she is a coach for women who are looking to find love and women who are newly divorced. And she read my book and she loved it. She loved it so much, and I was so thrilled that she loved it. It was just like such a wonderful feeling to know that I wrote the book for myself, but I published it for other people to benefit from. And she just found the book so valuable that she had started giving it to her, or recommending it to her clients as something they should read when they're going through those first throes of loss of marriage. And I felt so good about that. But when she told me that she was actually going to take it a step further, instead of just recommending my book, she was actually going to make it part of the curriculum for her coaching program. So she decided that every single woman that she works with from now on who goes through her program is going to receive a copy of my book. And I'll tell you, I was kind of speechless. I was so blown away by this development that I literally was speaking in an awkward way. I was thanking her, but I was also just so amazed by this turn of events that somebody valued my work so much that they were making it part of what they teach. I didn't know how to respond to it. And so it was very interesting because I'm having this conversation with her and I'm really grateful and excited, but at the same time, I'm also confused by being hit with something, even though it was being hit with something good, being hit with something that I just completely did not expect. I knew that I wanted to write the book for me. I knew that I wanted to publish it for people who are experiencing, difficulty and loss and bereavement and heartbreak, but it didn't occur to me that other people might want to give that as a resource to the people they work with. So it was incredible. Elena says, so awesome, congrats. Thank you. Yes, it was a big deal. It was a really big deal for somebody else to say, hey, I like your book so much that I am going to give a copy of it to every single woman I work with. I think it's that valuable. And it was so interesting as well, like all the thoughts that sprouted from that conversation. You know, I hadn't thought about taking the book and taking it to people who were already sort of working in that arena. And so now that this woman has decided that she's going to use it that way, now it opens up this whole opportunity, this other opportunity for me to look around and go, you know, who else do I know who works with people who need to read this book? And how could I provide them with a resource that I know that the people they work with will need? It's something that, it's like added value for people who are already sort of working in this arena. And this is one of those, like, I can't believe how I didn't see this before moments, you know, when you're just like, I'm such an idiot. Like, why was I making it so hard for myself? Why was I feeling like I had to go out there and I had to connect with all these people who were going through all these emotional things? Why didn't I think to connect with people who are already connected with the people who need to read my book and just sort of like make things easier on myself? So that's a little look at what goes on in my head, you know, when the universe serves me up a wonderful opportunity. I'm a little bit speechless. I'm a lot grateful. And then I'm also confused at my own short-sightedness, really, my own like inability to see this very easy opportunity for me to get the book to the people who need to read it. So I hope that helps you to recognize that, you know, all of us who are out there doing things, who are go-getters, who are the kind of people that make things happen, we also have those moments where we're just like, oh my gosh, really? Like, really? I didn't think of this on my own. And you know, not like beating yourself up like I'm a bad person, but oh my gosh, I did something really dumb. Like, and why has no one pointed this out to me? But yeah, so, you know, we all have those times where we didn't have the amazing idea on our own, but then when somebody else shows us the way, then hopefully we're in a position to go, okay, now that I see how this could really work and how this would accomplish my mission of having the published book out there getting to the people who need it, now I can take action on that. So that's a little behind the scenes story. Let me know, you know, how that speaks to you. Have you ever found yourself like making something a lot harder on yourself, thinking I have to do this on my own, I have to build this on my own, and then later found out that there was actually an easier way when somebody pointed it out to you? So I was definitely humbled by that, but also super excited because to me, there's no better endorsement than having somebody else say, hey, I read this book, it mattered to me, I think it'll help you, and then having them pass it along. Candy says, sure, every day. I'm so glad you're here, Candy. It's lovely to see your little happy face show up on my screen. So, you know, I'm glad that Candy left that comment, because I know that she's also a real go-getter, and that's why we made a great team. She's one of the people who helped me get my book published, and man, that woman, she worked hard. If you don't know Candy and you're thinking about publishing a book, or you need help just in the writing process, please feel free to let me know, and I will make sure that you guys get connected. All right, so I have today's note to self for you, and I'll give it to you in just a second. I wanted to give you one other piece of news in case you missed it. So not only is my published book going to become part of someone else's coaching program, and hopefully several more people's coaching programs as I get my feet under me to start letting people know who are already working with people who need to read the book, as I connect with them and let them know that this exists. I also have started writing another book, and it is nearly complete. It is actually a children's book, and all but basically the last 5 5 pages are written. The next step would be to figure out how in the world am I going to illustrate this, because I cannot draw for the life of me, and my usual resource for drawing is not really into the children's book genre, let's just say. So looking at other options for that, and so that book will actually be complete. And many of you know that there's a whole story behind the notes to self. The notes were just something that I did on a daily basis to help myself through a really difficult time. But there's a whole backstory behind how I ended up in that position and how I got myself through besides just the notes. So I am going to begin working on my memoir pretty soon here, and I'm really excited about that. There's lots of little inspirations and ideas coming up. I love that I am such a active Facebook user, because there are many things that I posted as I was going through the process that now I can pull and use for the book, and they help remind me of what I was really feeling. You know, it's so easy in retrospect to look back and think that, oh, you know, I had it together the whole time. I knew it was going to be okay. But then you read these posts where you're begging somebody to please post some, you know, funny videos of dogs because it's a really bad day. It reminds you that, you know, you didn't always have it together, and that you made it, that even though there were really bad days, that on the other side of that, you were okay. And so I'm excited to include all those in the memoir. Elena says, oh my God, so cool, can't wait for that. I am excited for Lacey to be read my children's book as a bedtime story, because that is what it's made for. It is made to be a bedtime story, not too long, not too short, something that you can read to your kids before they go to bed. And the idea just came to me. I actually have an idea for another children's book, but I think I want to get the memoir written first while it's still fairly fresh. Okay, so today's note to self. Are you ready to write it down? I gave you a little warning, so hopefully you are. Okay, so here is today's note to self, and then I'll tell you why I wrote it. It says, Dear self, ways are being made that you have not even begun to imagine yet. I'll read it again. It says, Dear self, ways are being made that you have not even begun to imagine yet. And then I like to sign mine, love me. Oh, I have another comment I didn't read. Elena says, I did that the other day thinking of you. Actually, it helped a lot. Oh, I love that. I love when you take something like that and you think about me, and it just, thank you, my heart. I love that. So I wrote today's note to self about ways being made that we haven't even thought of yet, because to me, it's a reminder to myself that something or someone bigger than me, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, has got things handled and is on my side and is trying to help me do what it is that I'm here to do. So I know that I wrote my book, Dear Self, I Love You, Keep Going, for myself, but I published it for other people. I published it so that it could be helpful to other people. And I've been wanting to get it out there, and I've been trying to get it out there, and it felt like the ways that I could think of to get it out there were going to be a lot of work. And then somehow miraculously, somebody who'd read my book decided that they're going to distribute it to people that they are connected with. So that was a way being made that I had not even begun to thought of. That was the universe working on my behalf. That was a clear example of something or someone bigger than me working on my behalf to get out there what it is that the universe or God had directed me to do, to not just write the book and let it sit on my Google Drive for eternity until, you know, I forgot about it, but to actually take the steps to publish it so that other people could read it, and then to make sure that the people who need it are receiving it. So that is why I wrote today's note to self. I will read it to you one more time in case you want to write it down. It says, Dear self, ways are being made that you have not even begun to imagine yet. So if you're working on something, keep one eye on the possibility that things could unfold in ways that you haven't even begun to think about yet. You just never know when that next opportunity is going to come, when that next idea is going to come, when something that is feels completely out of the blue is going to materialize and just make everything that you've been dreaming about start to unfold. And that's what I feel right now. I feel like the things I've been dreaming about are starting to unfold. You know, my book is published as an ebook. I have a clear vision in my mind of it being a hardback book, not just a print book, but a hardback book. I can almost feel the edges of the pages. It's that not perfect little edges on the paper, you know, the little ragged edge, and just the beauty of it and the heft of it, because it is almost 400 pages, and just the weight of it. I can feel the weight of it in my hand, and right now I don't know how that's going to happen, and in my mind I can see it in places like the airport bookstore, or little stores where they sell gift books like Francesca's or Anthropologie, or, you know, even some place like Target. And I can see it, but I don't know how it's going to get there. And so I'm just reminding myself that ways for this are being made that I haven't even begun to think about yet, because somebody else is in charge. I was asked to write this book. I was asked to publish this book, but I don't have to do all the work to make sure that it gets to the people who need it alone. I just have to keep acting, and ways will be made. So I hope that's helpful for you. I missed you guys over the weekend. I'm excited that today's Monday and we have a whole week of shows ahead of us. Let me know if there's anything going on in your world that you'd like my perspective on, you'd like some thoughts on, you'd like a little bit of wisdom on. You know, sometimes I offer my own wisdom, sometimes I offer quotes. I read a lot of inspirational quotes, so if you need something, I probably have read an inspirational quote that will help you, and if not, then I can probably write one. I definitely enjoy writing those for people when they're facing something that is challenging them, to help them stay focused on what it is that they want to have at the other end of that. So that was today's Danielle Daily Show. Again, I will be here each day this week at 3:00 p.m. Eastern. There is a slight chance that I won't be here tomorrow because there is a handyman coming to my home to put in a new faucet, and I can't do the show while he's banging around on the faucet. So if he's here when it's showtime, I will let you know by posting on the Danielle Daily page that unfortunately the show had to be canceled against my will. Thank you for the hearts. I'm being blown up with hearts now. I love and appreciate you guys, and hopefully, barring the handyman being here, I will see you here back at the same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Mwah! Love you guys. Bye.